Hello and welcome to Div 2 Finals for NSE. I am Matt and I am joined today by Keydog. It's going to be the Warwick Anglers versus Yahvin from Cardiff University. Now, we know nothing about these teams really. We're both Warwick students. We might know a little bit about the Anglers, but nothing about Cardiff. What are you thinking about this match today, Keydog?
I think we're just gonna have to see what people play. I think we know the Anglers, they have a Bastion OTP, right? Heat Seeker. The tank player likes a bit of Bull, likes a bit of Ram, and they've got like a Moira and Bap only player as well. So I think we're just gonna be basically seeing Brawl from the Anglers, and from Cardiff, I know Kirai is a Genji player. I think he's picked up some other things as well. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the screen at the moment. We've already got some bans coming out. So I believe we're going to Nepal, and it's a Sojourn ban coming out from the side of Anglers. I mean, I don't. Maybe they know a little bit more about this Cardiff team than we do. Maybe they've already played in the past. But from the sources that I was given, they haven't played before, which is what makes this a relatively interesting matchup. So let's see. I mean, do we have a response in terms of ban from Cardiff? I'm not sure just yet.
They
We have a
banned
Zarya ban.
Zarya.
Okay.
I don't think that's really that impactful.
Mm.
Pandas, who's the tank player for Anglers, doesn't. I've never seen him play that character, so I think that's a nothing ban. I mean, it would make sense, right? If these teams haven't played each other, then they won't know what bans are good into each other. So when you're thinking about bans, you just kind of want to protect. If you don't know a team, you just want to protect whatever you want to play, right? So you ban the Sojourn because they want to play like the Bastion, right? And Bastion is kind of bad into Sojourn. The Zarya ban probably because they want to play like Genji, maybe Genji Diva or something. So they don't really want to play against that Zarya pick. It's my thought, but I think after first map, once teams sort of realize what each other's playing, you know, more like bands with a bit more thought will actually, or a bit more purpose and a bit more impact will come in.
Yep, I think so too. And as we head into Nepal's Sanctum as our first round, you may notice something a little bit odd to do with the names of the players on the Cardiff team. Now, unfortunately, they are all named some variation of Panty Raider, which I've already just said on stream and I'm already cringing. So, we're gonna have to find a way to cast this in an effective way where you can understand what's going on. So if you suddenly hear panties flying around, even raiders flying around individually, just know that we'll try and keep on top of it. But here we go. We're heading into round one. It's a classic composition that I think both Kai and I expected to see from the Warwick Anglers. And something a little bit different from the side of Cardiff. Not seeing the classic Genji, but maybe that's going to be the switch after the Symmetra.
Yeah, I think anti-rider for is the Genji here. I don't know if we have that messed up. I don't know. We have a reference sheet somewhere that links the players to our player's name, but it's going to be hard to cast back and forth looking at a reference thing. But yeah, just thinking about compositions here, you've got the Bull, very good into Brawl, and you've got this very anti. So this is kind of like a Warwick Angels comp, putting a Doom instead of the Bull. You basically got a counter Brawl comp, so it's important for
That's an unbelievable anti though. Did you see that coming in? Immediately catches 3 or 4 players on the side of the Warwick Anglers. Somehow they managed to live, get the Immortality Field activated, and Panty Raider number 4, 1, 3, whatever. The Bull play just gets stuck in the back. Can't get through the Ramajo once the Ravenous Vortex is down. And what I mean, it seems the Warwick Anglers, they have the advantage here. They need to start moving over to the point. The shield's up, which should give them the agency to get there, but they've got to be careful of all this hard poke. You're absolutely right. This is something that the Angels would play, poking out the angles as much as possible, but they do manage to get first point. Panda, though, is already very low, and the Ashe on the side of Cardiff's already found a kill onto Squinter Epic. Panda soon to follow without that extra healing or movement ability from that Lucio. And now, very patiently played from the side of Cardiff, losing their ball early on, but coming back in with a vengeance.
Yeah, that ball just died to being body blocked, which is a bit unfortunate. You saw the Anglers there send their entire team to point, which is their first mistake, right? You just want to really send one character like your May to cap point there. You need your Ram to sort of control that, because when you're on point as a Brawl comp, you get poked out so easily. You have to use your wall early, you have to use your form early, and then you just sort of die shortly after that.
And the big question here for the Anglers is, what do they go on here? They're so split on the side of Cardiff. What is your target? It has to be the Ashe, maybe the Zenyatta in the background, but you've got to get through the ball first, and that's exactly what they do. A nice wall coming out from Rebel. Stayk gets the finishing blow, but it's the Pharah that comes in with the nano boost, gets the moving barrage here to get an easy kill Heatseeker also extremely low, eventually falls as well. And the tank nowhere to be seen on the side of the Anglers. And again, even though they give up the points, it's Cardiff back in control.
Yeah, that was a nice barrage to sort of clutch that situation. I think this ball is just playing too much to like dive. He just needs to roll through a couple times, make it more annoying. He just needs to live, basically. If he can play his life a bit better, it's going to make it a lot easier for the Cardiff side.
And we're already seeing an adjustment coming out from the Anglers. Panda64 now switching over to the Sigma, and again, look at how much they managed to bully out this ball. And even better, they've managed to make a rotation. Here comes the May Blizzard coming out. It's not going to find anybody, but it does split the Zenyatta out, and they want to chase that. Are they going to be able to get the kill? Maybe not, actually, because the Transcendent comes out, and it's actually Stake AK, the support on the side of the Anglers that is the first to fall. Warwick looking rather split, rather low on HP as well, in the wrong spawn at the same time, and Heatseeker falls. Panda, I believe, soon to follow. This Forest has got so much value, at least at the moment, just bullying out every single member on the side of the Anglers. And we're still taking up a percentage. Warwick, I think, just need to die here.
Yeah, they're not going to get another clean fight here. They are just staggering a little bit. The Sigma swap makes a little bit of sense. You know, it's easier to mark the range pressure from, and you can deny like nades quite easily. So it makes sense. You need a clutch ultimate here to actually win this point, but
it's a clutch ultimate, but it does manage to get one. The Zenyatta just not got that movement ability, can't hover his way out of that one, and he gets caught. But there again, the Pharah ultimate, the nano barrage comes in, it just does away with Heatseeker. No more help on the side from the Bastion, and everyone else on the side of Warwick seem to follow, and that's a 99 to 31, 100 to 31 even, and it's Cardiff who take point 1 on Sanctum.
Yeah, Cardiff was just in complete control of the fight. They may have lost 31%, but it's just the nature of that comp. You know, they just need to play it slow, take angles, burn the resources of the Warwick side. I think some adjustments here I would like to see from Warwick is maybe even Wrecking Ball or even Brig, maybe like a Brig from Squiz Rapid, and then you just keep on that. You keep on the Baptiste and you just play like a slow comp, deny the ball, play point, and it looks like Mauga maybe. Mauga's got a pretty good matchup into ball, so I can oh, the Diva. They go a lot of swaps here. They're being a bit indecisive. Panda not known for his Diva, but you know it makes sense into the Pharah.
And as you say that, an immediate switch back to the Sigma, more indecisiveness coming out. The only major changes we're seeing is the support line coming out from Warwick. They want to go over to this Moira, over to this Juno, maybe a little bit more survivability, knowing that they don't have to move around the map necessarily quite as much. They just want to survive as long as possible and allow Heat to get the damage in, but an amazing anti-nade comes out, and Panty Raider number 4, the Pharah player, is there to clean up the kills. Beautifully done. Heatseeker and ouch in the chat, yeah, that looked painful. And now with the reverse concussive, just pulling people in, we know that's going to be deadly when the barrage comes out.
Your eyes looking really clean on this on this Pharah, and as you say, you got the mini grab on the concussion mine, makes it even more deadly. You got Rebel going over to the Pharah, looking to try and match that. I'm not quite sure about this, and he's back onto the ramp again. It's going to have the same problems, right? Ana Zen is, you kind of just need to try and get onto that backline, but none of their characters can really do it, so they're just going to be sort of beaten down over time.
And instead, we're going to have a Pharah 1v1 here. Rebel, he decides to take matters into his own hands. He wants to take this battle. But at the moment, I mean, it's looking even, fairly even at the very least. Both Pharahs getting respective hits on each other. But Heatseeker, he decides he's not long for this world. And the only person who's going to take him out this time is going to be himself. Schizoepic also falls. And even though the Pharah, I mean, Rebel gets the diff, I don't think it's going to be enough. And I think Cardiff are going to remain in control at this point. Oh, beautiful shots there from the Zenyatta. And the amount of discord on Panda, he just can't live.
Yeah, I would like to see a ball come out, honestly, from Panda here. I think he does have that ball in him. I think a ball is just be able to actually threaten the Ana Zen a bit more. It is kind of risky because, you know, a sleep dart, especially with the Groggy perk, can be very deadly to ball. But yeah, they just need to, like, they're just walking through open space right now. But Heatseeker manages to find a pick, but Squiz Rapid does get traded, which isn't great, which is the only one.
Pharah here needs to stay alive, and he can't stay alive. Maybe goes a little bit too aggressive. I'm not sure if the nano was supposed to go onto the Pharah and didn't quite hit, but the nano does come out regardless. The Ana needs to live here, can't manage to find that survivability there with the health pack, and the Transcendent comes out on the point. I think this is just going to be a stalling tactic though, as they get to 87%. It's going to be final fight territory, but Warwick are finally back in control.
Yeah, I'm not sure that trans was needed, to be honest. I think you're happy to just give point, like, you know, you only really saved like maybe 5% at all, but Barrage does come, that's nice early Barrage from Rebel there, just to take down the monkey on the side of Cardiff and just get some a bit more percentage before next fight. But, you know, look at Cardiff's ultimates, you got Barrage, Bob, Monkey. It's going to be a difficult order for Warwick to actually win this next fight.
It might come down to Heatseeker here with this ultimate, if he can get that extra HP as well from the perk, but instead he's just going to go into his original form, and he's going to be looking for the primary Winston, at least forces them out. The far 1v1 on the side, that's a beautiful hit there. Oh my goodness, almost hits the third as well. But eventually falls, but it's not going to be enough. Look at that Bob coming out. He goes for the, Heatseeker goes for the damage there with his ultimate, but it's just not going to be enough. Look at this, 3%, 93% even, 94%. Heatseeker not going to survive. It's going to be a 2-0 in favor of Cardiff on this first round of the pool. What does Warwick need to do to switch things up?
I think they either need to go to a map that actually favors Brawl, which is in this season at the moment, you have very little Brawl maps. Only really Control. You know, all the and maybe Havana, but that's more Poke, right? So there's not really any Brawl maps in this map pool, which is kind of you know, not really what you want if you're a Brawl team. But I think they can make it work. Maybe go with like Havana and just play for the spawn hold. It's kind of hard into Ana Zen. What else could they do? They could maybe try lean into more of the dive and like, or yeah, they could lean into dive, to be honest, and just go ball, mirror the ball. What do you think, Matt? What do you
Well,
think they should do?
I think the advantage is now is that they have the ban, right? Clearly
Mm,
they went in having absolutely no idea what to ban, just thinking, okay, reasonably Sojourn is going to be difficult for our comp to deal with, building so much charge, etc. But at least they now have the ban, right? They have the opportunity to maybe ban the Pharah, or if they want, they could ban the Zen instead. I mean, it looks like we're going to
Havana.
Havana, so we are going to
Yeah.
Havana. It could be a Zenyatta ban, so they can actually start moving towards this backline and not be bullied out with Panda just getting discorded every single fight, just cannot survive.
I think an
Um,
Ana ban here is probably what you want, right? The
could
real
be.
threat is the nades for a Brawl team. You have like if you have a Bastion, you can shoot the fire quite effectively. And I think especially on Havana, you can't really play fire that well. It's too open, you know. So I think something like an Ana or a Zenyatta ban is probably what they want to.
So on the side of Cardiff, what are we going to be looking at instead? What's sort of the reverse side of things? What would be good for them? Do they want to ban the Bastion immediately, just get it out of the way? Of course, they can't ban a support if we're expecting that Arna ban coming out. So it's either going to be something like the Ram, but was the Ram causing any
I think
problems? Not
they've
really.
banned Zenyatta. I just if I can
That's a Zenyatta ban coming out
and
from
then
the Warwick
yeah,
Anglers.
I
It's
think I would prefer the
reasonable.
Ana ban over the Zen, but I can see that. I think Zen is very strong in this point. I think he becomes less strong when you do the brawl holds, right? If you like spawn hold, like the Zen gets less value because if he peeks out of spawn, you just kind of try and run him over. I think in return, some maybe like a ram ban if they're expecting they don't want to play against brawl, but they're like a spam dive team. If he has the Sigma in him, I think you can just play like an Ana Lucio Sigma maybe or double flex. So yeah, I think something like a ram ban might come out if they don't want to play that brawl, so that you want to like make them a little bit weaker, you know.
And what do you think on the side of Cardiff if they're not going to be playing the Far? I agree with you in a way that Havana can be particularly difficult for that. But sorry, I've just been drawn attention to something in the chat. Keydog, you're looking exceptionally handsome today from another casting friend, Mr. Edger himself. What do you have to
Thank you.
say to your fellow caster?
Well, he's gonna get rewarded tonight. Let's just say that.
Okay. Okay,
He,
Edger, you heard that here first, Edger. You're going to be rewarded tonight. Maybe no longer edging. Maybe it's the follow through for once. Um
well, but that's part of the games we play, you know. That's all.
okay. I mean we're still waiting for a ban here coming out from Cardiff, taking some time. What I was going to say before I got obviously distracted by Edger as we always do. Um what do you think if they're not going to play Pharah, do you think it's just a switch to the Genji? Is that sufficient?
I think so. I think Genji is playable, especially against like spawn holds and brawl. I think it can work quite well. I think Pharah on to like break the spawn hold is good. I think it can work like that. Spam damage is quite effective. They ban Ram, yeah. So yeah, I think it's going to be like a Sig mirror. I can imagine Panda going Sigma here, like Sig, Bap, Juno, or Sig, Bap, Lucio. Then you got Heatseek, of course, on the Bastion, and then I think Rebel on either the Sim or the Mei, just to, you know, improve that brawl. But yeah, it looks like we're going in with Cardiff on the attack.
I think this has got to be good for Anglers. This sounds like the kind of map that they want to play. It's got those sort of longer sidelines. It's got the ability to play something like this, particularly if they can go for the spawn hold here. We should be expecting that. I don't know, just as we were loading in, I saw the Mao. That could be an interesting choice, as opposed to the Sigma, particularly if they wanted to go for the spawn hold.
I think the Malga is probably worse, to be honest. I mean, Malga, since the nerf as well, Malga is a little, in the dumpster, shall we say. But yeah, Mei, Bastion, I think the Murrays are just for comfort. And then yeah, on the side of Cardiff, you got that double flex, a little bit of trolling, his own team. You love to see it. I think this is all pretty standard to be honest. The Hanzo pick is interesting. The Hanzo is quite effective into these sort of, especially on this map as well, into like Bastion, into the Bastion comms. You just like spam damage permanently. But for the spawn hold to be successful, you kind of need to hold it for at least a minute. If they lose the point within a minute, the advantage sort of goes over to the side of Cardiff. But yeah, take it away, Matt.
As we head in, it's going to be staying on the hands. I just said that and then immediately switched. It's going to be the Pharah Sojourn, so a Pharah Genji even. Okay, we're moving around. The Silent got Squid's Rapid, needs to live here and immediately falls. A little bit of damage coming through the Genji and then a nice headshot from the Kiriko at the same time. The support's going wild on the side of Cardiff, getting the kills that they need. I mean, Heatseeker, he's going to find his one, Panda too, but it's not going to be enough for the spawn hold to remain. And Panda, he's just going to fall and die on cart here. Swiftly ended spawn hold with that beautiful start from the Kiriko on the side of Cardiff.
Yeah, Squid's Rapid just got caught slightly early there. Genji poke and Kiriko poke. I think if you're the Lucio in that sort of com, you just kind of want to play a little bit safe. If they're on that dive, you just need to peel that monkey dive. But they scored over to the bull swap. I think they've realized that the Sigma's not great into that. I mean, it can work quite well, but they just need to live this dive. I mean, nice kill from Rebel coming out.
Rebel gets 2 to start off the fight. He's extremely low, but he's done his job really. This should just be a simple fight win for Warwick. Heatseeker. Heatseeker's fine. He just wanted to trip back to spawn. He wanted to see what it was like back there, you know, back in the distillery. But it's gonna be fine. Warwick, they've got a bit of stability now. We're on the ball now from Panda. Not quite the same furry animal, I suppose. Furry animal? I guess I don't really know what they are. Cuddly thing?
It's a hamster.
Yeah, I suppose they're all kind of cuddly. Although I think I prefer to cuddle a panda than a hamster. Anyway, as we look at Panda, he's going for the pile drive. Gets a lot of HP back, which he definitely needed after going extremely low. But now he's going to be forced out the fight by Kirai. And at the same time, now it's time to press the go button on the side of Cardiff. They're going to go in with the Kitsune Rush. They find Squid's wrapping out position again. He's going to stop them from engaging any further, but they don't need to engage onto him because the rest of Warwick is in the wrong position and they're going to get caught out for that. And the cart just going to keep moving for Cardiff. Not much has stopped it yet.
Yeah, that was a nice Kitsu by Pantera. Is it Raider or Rider?
Raider. We're not riding any panties, don't worry.
No. They're going for the touch. Maybe not. Yeah. I think it's just about living, mainly. They just need to live that Kitsu. Squid's Rapid just got caught. I would love to see a break come out from Squid's Rapid. I don't know if he has it in him, but I think a break could be really strong. I mean, that's not really what you want, getting picked off that early. Basically, losing for a fight for free.
Yeah, I mean, the Kiriko, again, we saw it on the very first fight. We're seeing it again now, finding a beautiful headshot to open up all the Warwick anglers, but followed up again by the Sojourn. It's just these picks, as you said. And another one coming out to Squid. He just needed to find a way out or die. And instead, he's found a way out and then eventually dies. It's not quite what you want. And Cardiff are just going to be steamrolling through this. Warwick, they just need to wait. They need to find a way to hang on for a little bit longer. Panda, he is able to stall the point. Not much to kill him at the moment. And I say that, he gets slept, he gets anti, he really needs to get out here. He can't die. He has the minefield at the same time. This could be a great way to stop the point. But the nano boost coming out to Kira here. He finds the Lucio immediately in the B. I think that's an Ajax coming out from Kira. A beautiful catch there. Kills Heatseeker as well, looking for more. What a beautiful blade there. Rebel, he wants to replicate that. He finds one, but I think slashing into the minefield, not going to find anything else. What a blade coming out from Kira there.
No, it's really nice. Not really what you want if you're that Lucio, getting that Ajax there. But they did find a trade, which is always good for the defenders, so they will get a good retouch here. Bastion comes out looking for that honor, but he does manage to live.
Forced off the high ground though, so that's a good start, and that gives Panda an ability to get back on to that backline. Although it's the Winston, it's the other tank. The tank on the side of Cardiff that's going to be going crazy in this backline. What are you going to do if you're in a small room with a Primal Winston? You're just going to fall over, and they do immediately. Squid's rapping, he's going to go flying through. He wants to get out. Can he make it? Oh, he's just living. Oh my goodness, he's living. He's living. The only fight where realistically he probably could have died, he ends up living, but that's okay. And we're making it now still for Cardiff with 3 minutes and 44 seconds left to third point.
I think now you're on this Bastion tour, but you go back over to the Sigma. Rock can be really effective against Monkey. Again, just getting magic pick, but they do manage to trade it, which is what they need. But yeah, I like this tour pick. You know, just make it their life really hard for the Genji and the Monkey.
I mean, Panda, he needs to be careful here. Every fight he seems to be getting antied, slept, bullied out by the Arno on the side of Cardiff. But well enough, it's the tank on the side of Cardiff who's actually the first to fall here. Taking out the fight. Rebel, he wants the 1v1 versus Kira. He's going to put down the turret. Help me, little turret. But it's Squid's epic. Maybe he does have the brick gene after all. He comes in with the protection there. But I agree with you. It just seems like there's so much ability for Cardiff at the moment to get picks because there's nothing in the way. Panda, he's doing a great job in the backline, but it's on the onus of the rest of Warwick to survive these engages and these picks on the side of Cardiff.
And Cardiff has 4 ultimates for this next fight. They really need to find something. Someone needs to find something. They like that beautiful
Ooh, but here comes the blade again. It's the nano blade coming out. Squid's Rapid goes down. Kirai, he's looking for one more. He's going to find it in the face of Rebel. Doesn't need to find any more really because it's just going to be enough to keep the ball, or not the ball necessarily. The ball is rolling, but certainly the cards for Cardiff right now. The Diva switch is going to come out as well. Switching over from the Winston. Even more ability to shut down the turret, shut down Heatseeker where possible.
Yeah, I think the switches from Warwick will make this much easier to hold. The Diva swap, I assume that's because, you know, Tor, Brig, Bastion for Winston is not having a good time with it. But yeah, it looks Squid does get caught with that E. And they're so low on the side of Cardiff right now. They just need to get picks, Warwick.
Or at the very least, they just need to survive and sustain. And that's what they've been able to do. Heatseeker, he goes for the artillery strike, at least gets the extra HP from it. But finally, we get that pick that you've been asking for, Keydog, as Panda manages to find his way onto the backline, onto the Sojourn. And now, turret on the wall, we're at 1 minute 30 left.
Yeah, Kirai just off the map somehow. But you know, this is looking like a really good hold from the Anglers. They've got a big ult bank now. They just need to not make any dumb mistakes, like getting picked here early. Panda really needs to live here, and he does manage to do so. You know, they got this kit, so they got these double support ults from both sides here. They're just making sure it's like an even trade, either, you know, trading out or just living.
Heatseeker, he's gonna sit in the backline, but actually it's the minefield that comes out first to start us off in this fight. Panda 64 just taking away as much position as possible, but actually it's Kirai. He's now back on the Farah. The nano goes onto him as well, and he managed to find Squid's Epic. That was a bomb out of nowhere, and Stakey, he has the immortality, but I guess he wants to die anyway. He's just not happy with Squid's Epic falling, and he decides to go and fight him in spawn for that. Kirai actually dives there to Rebel though. That's not the best pick in the world. This gives Warwick a chance to get back to this fight. Squid's Epic, he's going to go for the rally on point. He's got the immortality field to keep him alive just as long as possible. Maybe it's enough to keep him in the fight. He's living into this Diva. And as I say that, he eventually falls. Is this enough now though for Warwick to stay in the fight? Panda, he's on the backline. He forces out the Biotic and the sleep from the opposing Ana. But the Sojourn catches Stakey with his 150 charge Sojourn ultimate, looking for a little bit more damage. See if he can find anything else. Not going to find it at the moment. We're still waiting. It's overtime now. This is the last fight for Cardiff. They need to find something if they want to complete this map. Heatseeker, who's going extremely low, is going to heal himself up with the health perk that he has enabled right now. But finally, there's the pick. You don't want to see that pick if you're a Cardiff fan right now. Panty Raider, number whichever is on the Sojourn, falls. But here comes the Pharah ultimate. This could be enough to keep them in the fight. Another Nano Pharah. They know that this is their win condition, and they're going to go for it. But Rebel manages to finally take him out, only finding the one onto Squid's Epic, who can come quickly back on that Kiriko potentially. The Diva's going to live on point as long as possible. Another Diva bomb coming out from the Diva. That's I can't believe that's 2 in one fight pretty much. Staying alive. The Kitsune Rush comes out as well. Cardiff, they're still in this. The Sojourn is back. They still have a chance to win this. Stayk is going extremely low. Rebel, he goes for the pulse.
It's
It's
a
C9! It's a C9! Oh no, that looked so winnable potentially for Cardiff. But instead, they don't want to have that probability. Instead, they make it a guarantee. And they're only going to get it to 98 meters on second point. Warwick have a chance to full cap this map.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good hold from Warwick there. They made the right swaps in the end, but, you know, getting that to that point on this map is a tall order. And, yeah, they just got to be smart about making the swaps quickly on the attack. They don't have any time to sort of play with here. I think, you know, during that last fight, basically, Panda's just annoying the Ana as much as possible, annoying the Kiriko as much as possible. They had the Tracer and the Break to touch, and I think that's how they just won it, right? I think that Ana in that situation, they just needed to walk forward and try and, you know, get some help from his team. Because if you just got that ball in you, you do have your save dart, but he's going to take your attention, right? But if you walk up, your rest of your team can help out, right? And you can probably kill that ball a lot faster, or at least make sure he doesn't annoy you as much. Because he can't really stay in the middle of the entire team.
Now the question is, are Cardiff going to try and replicate, to better effect, may I say, the Warwick Angler spawn camp? They're going to go on the Orisa to start with. Maybe a good pick, potentially. It's going to give Heatseeker a lot of chance to do as much damage as possible if they are going to go for the spawn camp. Panty Raider number May is a little bit late on it. But here we go. They find the wall immediately on Squid's Epic. That's a brilliant wall. And even though Squid's Epic was the first to die on the Warwick attack, he's also the first to die on the Warwick defense, and vice versa, of course. The Cassidy as well coming out. That's an interesting pick, potentially predicting the Pharah coming out from Warwick. It's certainly going to be enough to prevent the ball from doing anything nasty in the backline, as they were so able to do before. But Heatseeker, when everyone's looking the wrong direction, Heatseeker snaps up that opportunity. He's going to find the Orisa on the side of Cardiff, and that's going to be enough to open up the fight here. Cardiff, they need to stay on point, die on point at the very least, because there's no way they're winning the rest of this fight.
Yeah, that was a good, you know, they broke that hold in 40 seconds, not bad. It's a bit of, you know, when you're playing attack, you always need to be careful about the spawn hold, and be careful of the May wall, right? So if you're Squids, Rapik, you probably just don't walk out the door yet. You wait until you know what they have. Like when you see they have a mate, you can then realize, okay, I just need to either bait. Someone needs to bait wall before I can actually walk out, especially when you go main.
And now we've got equal Pharahs on both sides, both going to be trying to outdo themselves. But instead, Kirai decides, actually, I don't want to take the Pharah 1v1, but I can take Heatseeker out the fight nice and quickly, and he does exactly that. It's going to be enough to force back the Warwick advance. They're going to have to wait for their Bastion to get back in the fight. But as I say that, somehow, someway, the Kiriko potentially caught out position. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but Panda's able to get the kill that he needs to potentially give his team the chance to get back into this fight. A Deadeye coming out. It's going to do a huge amount of damage onto Rebel there and onto the Panda. Both are extremely low, but it's Heatseeker who actually finds the kill. Somehow, someway, Warwick are living in this fight. The Cassidy here doing so much damage still. Everyone on Warwick, it's got some sort of concern or critical nature of their health right now. They need to try and stay alive as much as possible. The Kitsune Rush is going to come out. This Cassidy in the Kitsune Rush is going to be able to do so much damage. And Panty Raider, the Cassidy Panty Raider even, is going to find the ball for that. Heatseeker, he wants to come out with this artillery strike, but again, it's actually going to be the Pharah coming out with the nano boost, the barrage, but this time finally Warwick have got an answer for it. It's going to be the immortality field, and Heatseeker shoving a load of bullets into that face of that Pharah, and that's going to be it. Finally Warwick are going to take it. It's going to be 4 minutes on the clock as well.
Yeah, that was a good attack by Warwick. I mean, they get the death, but I think Warwick have finally figured out how to play against this sort of Ana full composition. I think the Brig is playing a huge part of this. I mean, Panda's got the mines, and the mines on both sides here. But you know, Nanofire found very little value on that defense. So if you're Warwick right now, you're really happy with that ult trade, and you get a point.
Both balls just looking at each other. That's a classic. Peas in the pod. Other things in certain areas, maybe in the panties, you never know. But it's going to be Cassidy walking forward here. Don't give me a question mark for that. The Deadeye's going to come out immediately, see if he can find anything. There's so many skulls there, but it's actually not going to find anything ultimately. The immortality field is forced out. Rebel's going to have to be extremely careful here not to fall, but actually they're going to force out and find the Cassidy out of position. They're going to take them out nice and quickly. Great kill there by Rebel. StakerK is going to look for a little bit more as well. Again, you might be right. Maybe Warwick have found their way through this composition. Panda, he's going to be slept, but he's still holding on to this minefield.
Can't really let the character live there. You kind of hit the shots, but then you get the ball though. So like this is going to be very easy for Warwick to cap here. They just mines point. What do they have?
On point.
They do have. They're really close to these support ults actually. They just need to not. They need to be able to live these support ults. Use some of their ults soonish. Don't let your Bastion die.
But Panda's going to find their first kill. The Nano Boost coming out onto the Genji. It's not going to be a Blade. They just want to go with the raw Nano. They trust Kirai to get the job done. He gets one, but Heatseeker with the extra HP and the artillery coming down. Somehow he dies anyway. He died so fast. That's unbelievable. And now it looks like Cardiff, they still have a chance to win this fight. The Ana goes down. It's such a mess. Both teams getting kills, but Kirai is doing so much on this Genji right now. He is decimating the Warwick opposition. He decides that he doesn't want any of that from the Warwick side. Panda going to be running away, trying to keep his life, but the hack as well. We've switched over to the Sombra, and this is just mean now from the side of Cardiff.
Yeah, they needed something from Kirai there. That was a nice nano play. I think if you're Warwick, I don't know, maybe you try it. You really needed to kill that Kiriko before she got out to be able to gain that sort of like permanent that advantage. But now if you see Panda swaps over to the monkey, that's in response to that summer pick. Can be very annoying for that ball. But nice barrage onto Panty Rider 1, or some would say that Wrecking Ball.
Ooh, wait, hang on. It's another Kirai Blade. We know how good he can be with these. There's two already. He's looking for a third. He's going to find it. Oh my goodness, it's disgusting. It's all over the screen. And that's the kill feed, I mean. And yeah, apart from that, I mean, now, look at Cardiff. They're building up to this EMP, and it could be last fight territory. What do you do about this if you're Warwick?
If you're Warwick, it's going to be tough, right? It's basically, you're at a big disadvantage here. You don't have any ultimates on the board, whereas you got EMP and a Kitsune to deal with. You kind of just need to be spy checking the Sombra, and you just need to be focusing her.
They also need to be keeping Panda alive here, doing a lot of damage there with the hack and the virus coming out at the same time. But Cardiff, they are playing patient. They're playing this well. They're simply waiting for a great chance to go in with this EMP. They had a chance with that great anti coming out as well, but they're just going to keep waiting. They've got 35 seconds left. If they can get this to overtime, it's absolutely perfect. The Sombra here needs to live. This might be the time to go for it. Looks like they're ready. They're going to catch the window at the same time. It's a beautiful EMP. It's going to catch at least two there on the side of Warwick, and they're immediately going to fall. Panda, however, has found two back. It's going to be a close fight here. The Kitsune Rush coming out. Squid's Rapid, he's got the Brig ultimate. He's going to pop it immediately as well. And Panty Raid is going to fall. The Sombra there dies. Squid's Rapid, he dies during his rally, though. That's not what you want to see. Panda, he's going to build up to this Primal Rage if he possibly can, but he's already got another kill onto the Kiriko. But it's the Genji. Has he done enough? 91% for Panda. He just wasn't able to build it up. Kirai is taking matters into his own hands once again. It's going to be a 2-0 for Cardiff in this Div 2 finals.
Yeah, that was a nice clutch. I think Squids, he popped the rally and basically face checked the monkey in the Kitsu. I think he just needed to play slow, go back out the other door, pop rally, pocket his Genji and monkey, and then I think they had a chance of winning that. You know, the trades were coming in favor of Warwick to start with. You know, as time goes on, the longer it goes on, trades then favor the defense, especially, you know, in overtime.
So 2-0 now for Cardiff. It's looking a little bit tricky now. I think we're probably going to be heading into a short break before we head on to the next map, because, you know, NSC, when you haven't got the right battle tag, things are going to get a little bit messy. So we're going to have to sort a few of those out. Don't worry, everyone is playing properly. Everyone who says Everyone is who they say they are. There we go. We get there eventually. But we just need to make sure that we have that all on the NSC website at the same time. So stick with us. We will be back in a couple of minutes and we'll see can Warwick mount the start of a comeback here and take us on in map 3. Find out in just a few minutes. We are finally back. Sorry for the delay. If you're just joining us, it's 2-0 currently to Cardiff against the Warwick Anglers. Just had a little bit of delay to sort out some team names, etc., etc. But to make up for it, we've also done something extremely exciting. We've given Cake the ability to do predictions on the channel. So, as we go into our next map, which I believe is Surabasa, you should have the chance to predict which team you think is going to win with all your very important Warwick Angels channel points, which you can do
It's
so much with.
Esperanza.
I'm lying. It's Esperanza. Oh well. What with the bands as well, Kai? Do you want to talk us through that a little bit?
They should be on screen pretty soon. I think Warwick Anglers. Oh, already a pause. That's always great to see. Warwick Anglers banned the Kiriko, and in response, Cardiff banned the Wrecking Ball. I think this is, to be honest, I don't know why they would ban the Wrecking Ball and not like a Bastion or something. Because the tank on the side of Cardiff can play ball pretty well. Maybe he felt like he was getting diffed slightly by Panda in that last match. I'm not too sure. Esperanza is an interesting one though. To be fair, I think Anglers have sort of run out of brawl maps, right? What else do you go to? Colosseum maybe, but Colosseum is kind of hard for brawl, especially down like the center, and then up to the high grounds as well, right? It's good for like spam. But maybe to be fair, you could have gone Colo and ban Ana. That could have been quite strong, and then just play like hard brawl. But the fire can still be annoying. So I think from the anglers here, they're currently on what's that? The Mauga. I don't think he's gonna play the Mauga. He might do. Maybe just, but like, since that Mauga nerf, I don't think anyone's gonna really touch him.
Yeah, I
What do
think
you
so
think,
too.
Matt? Do you think he's
I
gonna, yeah,
agree.
switch?
It's not going to be the Malga. I'd be surprised if it was. I mean, this could be something that the Anglers have been playing all season, and now after such a quick patch change, are they going to be able to actually adapt to that? I'm not sure. I'd prefer to see something maybe like the Orisa or the Ramatra instead. That's something that I think is certainly a little bit better, or they'd be more comfortable with. I'm just interested to see. I'm not really sure what to expect here. I'm also not sure why we have yet another delay. What do you think about the Kiriko choice from the Anglers, though? We saw how much work that Kiriko was doing for Cardiff just last series, getting that initial pick onto Squids on the attack and on the defense as well. But what do we think? Do we think that the Kiriko is a good pick, or maybe should it have been the Genji instead, for example?
It's a tough one. I think a support ban is quite wise, to be honest, because that's where the anglers are sort of, they can only really play Brig, Lucio, and then either Moira or Bap, right? So you need to kind of protect that backline composition, not protect the heroes, but like banning something playing double flex into Brawl is very effective. So if you can ban an Ana or a Kiriko, it does take that sort of away. I assume we'll see maybe. What did they play last time? They banned the Zen and they played Ana Kiri. They might just go back onto the Zen. It's a bit harder on this map, but it is possible. Um, so yeah, oh, do we know why the pause is happening?
Yeah, so it seems to be the fact that NSC, despite having now played 2 maps of it, are no longer happy with the names on the side
Apparently, okay.
of Cardiff. So we're
Can you
gonna
just
have to
ask the
wait
people
for
on
the names
Cardiff
to
to
be
do it so we
changed.
don't lose? Um,
Essentially, we're just gonna have to wait a little bit longer. Eventually, the Cardiff team are gonna change the names, which means maybe you'll have a little bit
oh, they're,
more
they're doing it
ability
at
to
the moment.
follow
They're doing
along
it at
what's
the moment.
going on.
Yeah, we can actually
Um,
call them by what they're called.
although of course it will change every series, which will be quite
Yeah,
funny
yeah.
at the same time. I'm also seeing, just looking at the backline for Warwick, I'm seeing a Moira and I'm seeing a Brigitte. That's a pretty slow backline, I would argue, particularly for something like Push, where having a little bit of speed to get back to the bot to have more fights is always going to be important. Is this something you think they're going to stay on?
No, I think they're gonna. Well, I think they. I think the break. If the ball is banned, I think the break can get swapped. Yeah, I think they could do a Lucio Moira here, especially if they go looking to play that Zarya. But then again, it looks like they picked those characters during the sort of load-in time, so yeah, it's hard to tell what they're actually going to be playing. But yeah, at this point, you can play Brawl on it. It's just a little hard. So I think something like a Pharah here. We can see like a Pharah or Genji come back out from Kirai. And then from the side of anglers. Of course, it's going to be that Bastion. I think something like a Sim could honestly be quite effective here if they want to lean into this rule. You know, Sim is very good for like crossing the open spaces on this map. You leave yourself a little bit vulnerable to the fire, but I think like if they played Bastion, you know that's all the real fire counter you need.
At the moment, we're seeing a Winston mirror potentially coming out. We're seeing the Pharah coming back out. We saw how effective that was, and I don't think it's going to be any different here on Esperanza. I agree, there could be some ability to have the sim cause a little bit of chaos, sticking together, going for those dives, but instead, Anglers are going for more of a hybrid sort of play. They're going to say, okay, Bastion is just like any other hit scan, let's not play around them, let's just use them as another part of the team. And as we go in here, it's going to be both teams. They want to take the high grounds first, but it's the Lucio on the side of Cardiff. That's going to give them the ability to go a little bit faster, to disengage potentially some of these fights, particularly when the Bastion uses their form. So you're going to be looking to see what can Cardiff do with that advantage. But Kirai, he's already going in extremely fast, and just like his name is literally 1 HP, has to back out around the corner. Just maybe a little bit too greedy with getting that damage in at the same time. And because of that, it seems like Warwick are going to get a little bit of first push as I say that. Barely not pushing it enough to get the lead. There we go, we finally make it. And both teams just posturing at the moment. They're waiting to see who wants to go first here, who can get the first dive, who can find the first pick. Disruptor forces out Rebel, but it's actually the Winston from Cardiff who's going to be caught out of position, staying a little bit too long without using the jump pack, and Stake AK is going to punish him nicely for that. And Warwick with the pick on the tank. Literally one, Kirai here can do as much as he wants, but he's going to have to back out eventually, surely, as we see this barrage of rockets coming down from Cardiff. Literally one, still literally one. Oh my goodness, just staying alive. But somehow Cardiff have stalled long enough. How come Warwick have not been able to push them out?
I don't know. Yeah, that was a slight mistake from Warwick there. They really need to just sort of like push in, push their advantage. But now they're at a disadvantage now. You know, M1TZ1 or the monkey on the side of Cardiff made a mistake by that jump. You know, he basically jumped 1v5. Window does come out here in response. Maybe they can find something. They really need one sort of trade here. Maybe onto this monkey. That monkey's going very deep.
Very deep indeed, but it seems like they're going to get out alive. Just seemed to me like that window was timed at the time exactly when Heatseeker didn't have his Bastion form. So combo of that would have been perfect, but just not able to do it. And that allows Mitzi to get out the fight, get another kill onto Rebel as well. And now I'm looking at these ultimates on the side of Cardiff and I'm thinking, oh dear, I do not want to be on the angles right now.
Yeah, exactly. I assume we're going to see a Nanofara come out here. They can steamroll this the first checkpoint so easily. You know, Heatseeker needs to pop this or maybe early, force something out, try and get a magic pick. They really need something here. Anything less, they're just going to lose this ultimate trades, and they're going.
And here's the Nan on the far, and the moving barrage gets 3 immediately. Absolutely disgusting coming out from Kirai there, flattening the Warwick opposition, sends them back to spawn. Back you go. And now even more point presence for Cardiff.
Rebels made that swap onto that tracer. I like this swap actually. If you saw there, Rebel managed to steal cart a little bit. So, you know, they'll get another fight here before the checkpoint because of that. Which is kind of what you want here as Warwick. But again, they got that speed, they got this primal, they've got the overclock. They really need to try and touch this and look for a good trade. But looks like they've given up.
Yeah, so it seems like Cardiff are going to get the first cap here. And they've still got the ultimates to back up this fight. Panda is extremely low. He needs to live before he dies without using the Primal Rage. Heatseeker, he gets his one to start off the fight. He's going to go with his Artillery Strike as well. Looking for another. With the help of Rebel, he's going to finish off the Inti Warrior. The Sojourn for the side of Cardiff. Only Squids are epic falls there. But Warwick, they need to stop moving the point. And instead, it's Mitzi, the tank for Cardiff, who's going to activate the Primal Rage to try and distract as long as possible. But taking a barrage of shots there, not from the fire this time, but actually from the Bastion. It's going to have to back out, but they still have control of the point. They're still stopping Warwick from pushing any further. And with Heatseeker falling earlier in this second half of the fight, it's not looking good for Warwick. There's a chance here for Cardiff to get back into it. And Anti onto Panda as well, going to be having to back out. Stake AK though, he gets a kill that he needs to get, and Rebel is extremely low as well. He's going to have to look for a health pack, but instead, takes the risk. He finds Mitzi in the process. And now finally clean up for Warwick, finds some chance to move the cart, a Primal Rage for good measure, just to make sure that they get these final kills. And Warwick, we might be finally seeing the point moving in their direction again.
Using that Primal, it's really not what you want there. I think he just needs to live a little bit and wait for his team to come help. You would really like the Primal in this situation, especially they've got these supports coming up, right? And they need to touch the point. Someone touch the point, please. Thank you. Oh. Yeah, Cardiff are gonna get quite a good recontest here. Flag nade does come out onto the Baptiste. He looks 1 HP. I don't think he gets out of this. Oh,
Somehow he's living some way, and essentially Heatseeker, he's gonna find the kills when he needs it. Kirite again on this Farah, nanoed up. He gets 2 kills in return. He wants to make this as even as possible. Warwick, they've taken the lead. What a punch. Warwick have taken the lead here, but I think it's just not gonna be for much longer. Panda, he's gonna stay on the point as much as he possibly can, but he's gonna fall to these rockets eventually. A nice direct there to finish him off. But Cardiff, they're gonna need to push this a long way to get back in control.
yeah. I mean, they basically only need 1 fight here. They've got the barrage. They've got the beat. You could just see them just sending it, right? Just beat barrage. They really need to get a lead off this fight. They really don't want to let Warwick get another chance to get more meters on the board.
Rebel playing with fire here. Gets his recall forced early. He's gonna survive for now though. But finally, actually, funnily enough, Cardiff, they just breeze their way through to taking the victory. Nothing stopping them. And the beat comes out to protect the majority, I guess, of Cardiff. And literally he's gonna use that to his advantage. He takes out Heatseeker with the barrage once again. Gonna trade for it though, so there's a chance for Warwick to get back into this. And as I say that, Squidzer Epic gets a kill on his counterpart, the main support on the side of Cardiff. And with that rally, they're gonna be walking forward rather menacingly, may I add. A nice bash stun combo there, and Rebel finishes off Winston as well. And Arna soon to follow. Warwick, they did give up the point though. This is gonna be unfortunate. Are they actually gonna be able to get back and win this, and maybe not with Rebel dying early?
Yeah, and they get the spawns as well on the side of Cardiff. They'll be able to take a fight close here, and yeah, Rebel will have to walk all the way back. So I think if you're Warwick, you just want to play this slow, build. You know, you build your primal up, not get picked, and then once Rebel's back, you can then actually go. But you can just see the Baptiste just jumping around here. You don't really want to do that against Sojourn who has rail.
Ooh, and as you say that, I was gonna say just dodges the shot there, beautifully done. But again, it's the Nano Farah looking for kills, and Squidzer Epic falls with the help of the Winston at the same time. StakeK, he is playing with fire again. He's jumping into the stratosphere. A pulse bomb that goes wide from Rebel will not manage to find its way onto Inti Warrior. And Cardiff, they're going to keep advancing through this fight. StakeK finally maybe has been caught out a little too many times, and eventually is properly punished for it. He falls. Squidzer Epic is going to keep his Bastion carry just alive for a little bit longer. No one on the point though. This could be a good time as I say that. Eventually Cardiff get the point moving a little bit further. They're going to be taking it back to their checkpoint, and they're going to be pushing even further into Warwick territory.
Yeah, if you're a Warwick supporter right now, it's not looking good. Especially since, again, Squidzer Epic gets caught early. This seems to be a bit of a theme occurring here. Just dying pre-fight. Warwick really needs to pull something out of the bag here. They need a play from Panda. He dies just as he gets the primal, and it's going to be more and more meters for the side of Cardiff.
And look at those ultimates as well. I'm seeing some good ones from Warwick, but I'm particularly in love with that Farah, Nano Farah, Barrage, Wombo combo that Cardiff have been using so effectively throughout the 3 maps that we've seen so far. If they could just do that one more time, I'd like to see the Sojourn go on a little bit of a flank here as well. Imagine taking that side angle. Warwick might not see it coming, but instead going to play main, and we've got to make sure that we keep this Winston alive. Going to preserve the primal rage at the same time, and this has got to be the go button. It is the go button. Literally one takes a little bit of damage, but he's going into the backline. He's got to be careful here through the window, but he gets the kills anyway. It's another 3k for literally one. He doesn't care about that window. He opens that, he smashes the glass, and he finds his 3. And it's going to be more advancement for Cardiff, more pushing towards Warwick spawn, and this has got to be desperation time now.
Yeah, they did. Panda did manage to find a kill onto one Int Warrior, so they will get, you know, a 5v4 fight here. Pulse one does miss though. They need to find something quickly before that Sojourn comes back.
I'm looking at the far right now, very low on HP, and Heatseeker managed to get the finish off very nicely there. Mitzi reasonably doesn't want to use the primal there. Knows that they can just lose this fight, they can try and force out an ultimate, and that they do with Squidzer Epic, using the rally at the same time. Maybe not even necessary this fight. And now they know that they can come back into the next fight, Cardiff, and they're going to have the ult advantage to play for as well.
does feel like Warwick are throwing away a couple of ultimates here and there. You know, the rally there probably wasn't needed. The Primal a couple fights ago, and then it just gives like an ult advantage to the side of Cardiff, and it's under a minute. They really need something big here.
It's the big
And as
indeed,
I
and
said
Snake
that,
AK is going to answer your call. He gets one immediately. They need to keep Heatseeker alive here, though. The anti-nade not going to be enough to finish him off. This is the chance for Warwick. They need to get back in the fight. Another beautiful kill there. No DPS now for the side of Cardiff. And Warwick, they need to try and chase as many kills as possible here. The Winston falling extremely low. Doesn't even need to pop the Primal Rage. That's impressive support coming out there. Or maybe just a few shots missed on the side of Anglers, depending on which way you want to look at it.
and this Nanofara is coming back again. No barrage, but Nanofara can just do as much damage. Again, Heatseeker needs to find something with his ultimate. Probably
He needs to find
pop his
something.
ult.
He's going to be pushing. He does pop the ultimate to keep himself alive a little bit longer, but Snake is already down. The Nanofara is still looking for a little bit more, but Heatseeker, he might be playing in that small room and keeping himself alive, but it's Sword Madam on the side of Cardiff who's already found the kills for the rest of his team. Heatseeker gets his one. He gets his two even. It's just not going to be enough though. He's the last man standing for Warwick, the last hope to keep the dream alive. But instead, we're looking down. A 3-0 here for Cardiff so far. A GG's in the chat, not quite so fast, Lana Del Rey. Not so quite so fast. It's going to be one more map. Reverse sweep time. Heatseeker believes, I believe as well, Warwick can do this. But as we saw in the play of the game as well, literally one is doing so much with these nanos.
No, yeah. I mean, every single time he got Nano, he got a ton of value, right? Whether he had a barrage or didn't have the barrage. If I'm Warwick right now, I'm a little bit, you know, I'm not that happy. I mean, it's kind of tough. It's still kind of tough, right? You're trying to play. You're not a dive team. You're trying to play into a dive team. The bashing does help in the Winston mirror, but he just needs to get this honor ban. I don't know. They really need to get this honor ban. I think these nanos and these nade values that is just coming onto the fire and onto their backline is just too much. I think instead of that carry ban last map, they should have gone for that honor ban. What map do they have left to pick from? They've either got Suravasa or they've got a hybrid. If I'm Warwick, I probably go for the Suravasa. You know, you can. It's a pretty good brawl map. And you know, all the hybrids, Iconvold, Numbani, what's the other one? Blizzard World are very good maps for either Honor Zen or some form of dive, which is what Warwick don't want to play. So they need to pick Suravasa and just ban the Honor. And I assume in response they'll probably ban the Bastion. Because you know, if the Bastion is a lot more of a threat if it can't get needed and it's got that self-healing perk.
Do you think that not gives? I can't even speak either. What have you done to me, Kai? You've twisted my words. Just a question though. If we're so worried about Warwick losing this Bastion ability, would this not be the good time to ban maybe the Genji, maybe the Pharah instead, and stop Kirai from doing so much damage to the rest of Warwick, and then you're protecting the Bastion at the same time?
I think whether Kirai's a Pharah, Genji, or anything, he just gets enabled so much by his Ana. All these nanos that have come onto him has basically found at least a 3 or a 4k. So getting rid of the Ana will just reduce his Kirai's. And they picked the Blizzard World. I'm not too sure about this one here. They need to ban the. They need to. Can I say the word ban Ana? Then they ban the Ana. There we go. They finally did that.
You are right. You get it right.
Yeah, so I assume here Cardiff will ban probably the Bastion, maybe force a Lucia Curie monkey comp. They do pick, and Cardiff does pick attack as well. The standard sort of.
This will be interesting. If it is a Bastion ban coming out, what do we expect Heatseeker to go over to? I've seen him on the Soldier a little bit, but anything else seems maybe a little bit out of his wheelhouse. So the question is, have Warwick got a plan for this? Is this something that they're ready for, or are we about to see something entirely new without the Bastion?
I think I've seen him on the Tracer as well, but of course it's not his comfort. So I think it's going to be, it's going to be quite a tall order for Warwick to win. I think the Anaban does help a lot, and I think if they wanted to play they ban the Bastion. Yeah,
There it is. I think one thing that I'm surprised that we haven't seen throughout this series is maybe a little bit more of the Mei Bastion, the Sim Bastion. It seems that they've been very content in playing a composition that has the Bastion in it, but doesn't revolve necessarily around the Bastion. At least that's what we've seen ever since that first round in a pool. Do you think that's the right decision? To me, I feel like they could have leaned into a lot more, gone for those cheeky little plays into the back line. But instead, we're seeing something a little bit more basic coming out from Warwick.
I think on Esperanza, something like the Sim would be quite good. I think the May struggles a lot on that map. On Havana, what was he playing? He was playing Genji, right?
Mhm.
I think something like the May could be quite good, getting 40 points. But even, playing, and, this went on to that dive composition, right? So that the Genji was a good pick in that situation. I think on the pool they could have probably ran the Sim or the May a bit more. Um, but yeah, I think Rebel does have that ability to swap onto the Genji, and his Genji is definitely good. Maybe not as good as Kirai's, but if you're playing with this dive, oh, looks like Heatseeker is playing the Reaper. Interesting, interesting. And Squizzerepig is on the Kiriko here, so we got a very. I think this comp could actually work quite well for. It plays into I think the hero pools, apart from the Bastion, the hero pools of the team. I think putting Stake on the Murray just being able to live a lot better than the Baptiste, and it allows Squids, who I think is a flex support player, I want to say, to actually play a flex support instead of playing the main support. So I'm liking this from the anglers actually. Yeah, I'm liking this a lot.
I'm glad that you like it because it has to be good. It's got to be good. This is the final lifeline that they have. Their last gasp of air in NSE, in any tournament this year. They have to find their way. They've been such an exceptional team up to this point. A team of essentially entirely new players this year. Freshers who have come in. They found their way into Div 1 last year. They find themselves into the Div 2 finals this year at the same time. And Rebel, he wants to put the team on his back immediately, finds a nice kill to start us off onto the Kiriko.
Yeah, that's really nice. You see the swap onto Tracer. I'm not really sure this is what you want here. I think going back onto the Fire is probably what you want here. Genji Tracer is a very hard comp to pull off if you're not Korean. You need very good coordination for the dive, and it needs good mechanics from both the Genji and the Tracer player. But respawns do come through.
An initial dive coming out is going to force Panda off the high ground. The rest of his team, though, they need to know that they also have to back away too, and Heatseeker is going to use the Wraith. He's got the heals to keep himself alive. But now, Cardiff, they have the space. Warwick have clumped themselves on the point. It seems like the DPS from the side of Warwick are going to try and take a little bit more space, but Cardiff, they've managed to wrap themselves all the way around. They're on the high ground already, and they're going to use this to their advantage. Rebel, he's going to keep sliding away, but Stake AK, he's not so fast, and he's going to fall. Squizzerepig soon to follow as well. No supports on the side of Warwick. It's going to be a swift, destructive force coming out from Cardiff, and they're going to take the point very quickly here, I would say. Only 2 fights needed.
Yeah, it looked like Warwick didn't really predict that sort of wraparound. You saw when that happens, you sort of want to take the other high ground, not the high ground that Rebel went to, but the one above Mega, because it allows you to depoint a lot better. And then they just need to live the dive. They just need to absorb that dive before they can actually make a play. And it looks like Stake got caught early, maybe without fade, or maybe got taken by surprise. But the toad does come out. I like this from Heatseeker. I think it was Meta1, if anyone knows that name, who said. Was it Meta1? Yeah, Meta1. If you don't know how to play any other, to be fair, it might not be Meta1, but someone said, if you're playing flex DPS and your character gets banned, like your one trick gets banned, just play Torb. It's an easy character to play. Even I can play that. Even I got monster plays with that character, so it's an easy one. So I really like this from Heatseeker. Just put your turret down, just spam, and especially into Monkey Genji Tracer. What can you do?
Meta 1 is like Helen Keller. Every single quote in existence you can probably attribute to him. In this case, Overwatch related. I'm not sure how many inspirational quotes outside of Overwatch the man has gone for. Or maybe he's like those infinitely typing monkeys on those typewriters, Eventually he's gonna type out that, so there you go. Let's say that Meta 1 said it. Anyway, back to the game. We got a lot of ultimates coming out from the side of Cardiff. I like the look of the idea, but maybe a beat engage with this Genji Blade. Rebel, he's going to be backing away. The dive is immediately going to come in from Ravager. He's going to take that to his advantage, but Rebel, he's going to punish him for it. No Primal Rage coming out. I mean, that's, I guess, lucky for Warwick that they didn't manage to go for it in the end. And Cardiff, they're going to back out if possible. Panda, he wants to bully out the backline a little bit longer, but Stake AK gets punished for that aggression. It seems like the only thing that can stop Kira right now is just a random fence. He's going to go for the blade anyway, a little bit of angry there. He finds the one Squidzer Epic. He's going to look for more. He hasn't got a deflect. He's got to be careful here. He's going to die for his baby. Extremely low, but the rest of his team, Crusher 99 there to support him at the same time. Going to give his life for it eventually. But that trade, I think if you're on the side of Cardiff, you're okay with that. You're still moving the cart for a little bit longer. And they've got the high ground advantage as well.
I mean, the cart is still inside of Cardiff's area, but it's the Kiriko, you know, it's probably a trade that the anglers like a little bit more, right? The Kiriko is the main source of healing for the for Cardiff, and looks like Monkey gets 1 HP. Kiriko does come out, but maybe slightly too early. They do manage to get the kills though. That's what you kind of need. You kind of need to win that fight there, otherwise that Kitsu is a bit of a waste.
I think Rebel is turning up in a big way now in this fight. He's been turning up a little bit as well earlier on, but he's doing a lot. He's keeping his team alive, and this is what we like to see here as we approach 2 minutes left on the clock for Cardiff. We've got a window. We haven't seen much value with these windows so far, and with double support ultimates on the side of Cardiff, there might not be any more value from this one either. But as swap over to the Diva as well, this is going to give them a chance to get onto that backline a little bit more easily. And he's going to look immediately for Rebel, immediately for Heatseeker even, finding anyone they possibly can. Rebel's going to fall. The beat comes out at the same time. I believe there was a beat. And
there was,
Rip
yes.
goes,
But if you notice at the moment, they're not pushing cart right now, so that fight, you know, was basically a free win. I don't know what Panda's doing here. He just needs to wait for his team. Uses his E. You kind of would want that for your next engage. You got to wait another 10 seconds before you can go in, and the cart is moving along.
Finally got the cart moving along. The window is still available here. So is the Torbjorn Molten Core, I suppose I'll call it, but we'll see. I might get a little bit excited when he releases the load. Oh my goodness, it's going everywhere. But Kira, he decides to release a little bit of his own back. He deflects it straight back at him. He says, I don't want him to taste any of that. Have that back. He gets the nice cleanup there as well, and the great blade. That's going to be enough to get Cardiff through onto third point.
You got Heatseeker going to the sim. I like this. It's good into the Diva. I wouldn't even mind Squeezer Rapid going on to the... Some interesting swaps coming out here. Take it onto the... just onto the Moira, doing a bit of maybe the tech of putting people out of spawn. But I would like Squeezer Rapid to go back onto the Brig. You know, Brig is really, really good into Diva.
Minefield still on the cards for Warwick here. Panda, he's going to go in quickly. He's going to activate this minefield. Goes for the slam, but it's a great Susan to stop anyone on the side of Cardiff getting caught by it. That's going to make sure that they can walk out nice and effectively. Kirai needs to be very careful. He's going to run out. He's off the map. That's the Jerry location for those who know it. And it seems like Blizzard World third point has claimed another poor unfortunate soul. Cardiff, they're going to have to reset here, I think.
Yeah, definitely. You got Kitsus on both sides. Like, simple Kitsu trade could come through here, but you are closer to that Diva bomb and the overclock here. So they really, but Warwick really needs to. They pulled the trigger a second, which gives Cardiff that slight advantage. They did manage to trade onto the Sojin, which is kind of what you need here. When you're losing a fight and you're a defender, you kind of just need to get some kills and then die as quickly as possible to not stagger. The Moria is trying to live here, which okay, I guess he got the extra fade.
Stayk gets it done. He gets his one. He keeps his team alive a little bit, but the cart is still rolling. Panda, he needs to be extremely careful here to not fall. He's going to have to activate his extra shields at the same time. But he's going to be a walking hazard right now. He's got that disruptor shot stuck on him at the same time. The Venture now coming out from Rebel. He can't manage to get the kill. It's a bomb that only takes out the turret as well. But that might just be enough. That might be all Cardiff needs to push it to the final area as we get down to 30 seconds on the clock now. They have a chance here to cap with overtime. Warwick, they need to stop this happening if they want any chance here of winning
I don't
this
think
map.
they get a touch. It looks so awkward.
Ooh, and it's a barrage to stop it. Heatseeker, he just can't make it in time. The Hail Mary, not able to get it done, and it's a victory over clock. 20 seconds left on the clock. Ooh, Warwick, they have a tough hill to climb.
Yeah, they really do. They had some good holds. You know, it's been looking better these last this last map. But again, it just feels like some swaps either come through too late, or you know, when you if you have like an entire team swap, you lose all your ultimate charge, right? They basically had no ultimates that entire third point. They really just needed to, you know, make one or two swaps, not swap, you know, as much as they did. I think maybe just switching the brig after you use your carry ult, and then basically keep everything else the same. Yeah, they just lost to the ult economy basically.
Warwick need to find a way through this now. They're on the attack. Is this the time to switch it up? Is this the time to go with this full-on dive that we're looking at right now? Stake AK, we know he's good at the Moira. We know he likes his Baptiste as well. We really need a Lucio right now. We need some kind of speed ability. This is looking really tough. This could be the chance for Cardiff to take us in a 4-0 dominant victory, may I say, in these Division 2 finals.
It looks
What
like they're
does
trying to
Warwick do?
predict. They're going very Korean with this this brig Zen. It's very strong. I don't know if you remember, Simple, the Zen player. His
Yes.
team played this a lot, and they also Tracer Farah. It's a tough composition to play into, especially when you're playing Monkey. There's a lot of damage with the Discord.
I mean, this Farah, we
DK
know
is
how
not picked a
to...
character yet. Do they need a pause? They need a pause. Oh wait.
Any pauses? Any pauses
Any
in chat?
pauses in this?
Any
There we
pauses
go.
in chat? There we go. We get the pause. Eventually. This is looking really tricky. I mean, I'm looking right now at that Farah. Oh, we're immediately back
Yeah,
in.
I'm
Never mind.
pausing.
I'm looking at that Farah. I'm looking at that Discord orb at the exact same time, right? Or the Harmony orb even. And what is there on the side of Warwick to do anything about it, right? Squid's Epic, he's getting forced out so quickly. And Guardian Angel still on pretty much full HP, just living as much as possible. Doing what they can. I mean, this is just... What do you do about this Farah? The Baptiste is going to come out from Stake AK to do a little bit more damage to them. And eventually, as I say that, I thought the Farah was plain sailing. But maybe like Icarus flying a little bit too close to the sun that is Stake AK in this case. He gets the kill. Rebel is going to fall though. Warwick, they have got their presence on the point. They've got a tick. They're going to try and get a second. If they can get one more here, this would be really good. But it's a great engage here. The ball gets forced off the point. Squid's Epic is going extremely low. Guardian Angel coming back on the Echo. Maybe a little bit more secure here. Trying to stay alive with those extra shields, which I never knew were in the game until like a few days ago. And that's going to be enough. There's a collapse coming in from Cardiff. They're going to get the kills they need. Heatseeker falls as well. Panda, time to reset, I think. Same for you, Rebel. I don't think you're going to get out Rebel, but yeah, I mean, a good switch, I would say, onto the Echo. A little bit more survivability, a little bit more movement as well. This is still looking tough for Warwick. I mean, they've got 2 ticks at the very least.
And Rebel makes the swap onto the Farah, which is interesting. They don't have any hit skins, but playing into an Echo Zen is quite tough. You need to land 2 or 3 direct hits. Or 2 direct hits in quick succession, or 3 in a short period of time. But you got the mines, you got these ultimates coming online for the side of Cardiff. These next couple of fights are going to be in. Cardiff are going to have a pretty good advantage. Yep. And
Echo already finds a kill. That's exactly what you were saying right there. What do you do if you are Rebel on this far, staring down a Zen and an Echo at the same time? The answer is really not much. Heatseeker though, he shows that he can't just play the Bastion, he can play a little bit more, and he finds his nice diff there onto his counterpart on the side of Cardiff. He's going to be looking for a little bit more in this fight. The Kitsune Rush is coming out from Squid's Epic at the same time, but that's counteracted by a Transcendence and a Minefield. Warwick are not going to be able to push through any further. A window. This could be time for Stake AK to go crazy here. He's going to try and keep Squid's Epic alive as long as possible. Every single ultimate being popped in the game right now as much as possible. The Echo, the duplicate coming out onto the Tracer, not going to be able to build up to this ultimate, unfortunately. As I say that, oh, he gets one! Almost manages to land the Pulse Bomb at the same time. But Panda in the backline with the Primal Rage maybe has done just about enough to keep his team in the fight. A final touch from Rip Goats, but that's not going to be enough. Warwick do cap first.
Yeah, Rebels got onto that Ash, which I think is quite a good pick here. It's quite long sight lines, but Guardian Angel, Kirai has already made that swap onto that Genji, which is quite effective into Ash. It does feel like this backline from Warwick is so killable, and the only way they can live is with ultimates. Baptiste, Kiriko into a ball, Genji, Tracer, Zen. How are they meant to live that? And especially in your Monkey, if you try to dive, it's this high ground. And already Heatseeker gets taken down.
Crusher finding the kill that's necessary there on the fight. Heatseeker not very happy about that in the chat. Respects though that it was a very nice shot coming out at the same time. Stake AK doesn't manage to get down the lamp in time. He's going to fall as well. These are staggers that you don't want to see if you're a Warwick fan. right now, as I suppose Kai and I secretly are, may I say? Maybe not so secretly, but still holding on.
This can have
Them
opinions.
working, yeah, I mean, you see Spectre on Egg to cast our games. Or at least I can name a few casters that don't seem to like us particularly much, but that's
who
okay.
likes Warwick these days, honestly? Find me a Warwick
Who
lover.
does like... Yeah, that's real. Find a Warwick lover who's not a Warwick, a person from Warwick. That's
I don't even know.
hard to
Agda used to be a Warwick lover. I'm not sure if he is now anymore, or if he swapped sides of Scotland. I feel like he swapped sides of Scotland. Natnif, when you cast us in the, on Sunday, please be a Warwick lover. We need someone on our side.
A nice little bit of bull tech coming out there from Ravager to try and get that power drive coming out. Here's the bomb, and it's time to go Squidzer Rabbit. He pops the Kitsune Rush, but once again, Crusher 99 is there with the Transcenders at the same time. Ravager does fall anyway, though, so it's a bit of a trade, and it's not a bad one for the side of Warwick at the moment, but Heatseeker, he falls as well. Guardian Angel as well, we know how effective he's been with these blades. He doesn't even need to pop it right now, but he's going to have it for next fight. Gorgeous slashes and dashes straight through the Warwick team right there. Both supports down. He's going to fall for it, but it's too little too late, I think. Cardiff, they're going to keep holding on, and they can keep holding on to these ultimates as well as we approach Final Fight's territory. A little bit of a Tracer 1v1 happening right now. Both sort of counteracting each other. Trying to look for a little bit of a kill, but Squidzer Epic, he decides none of that. I've had enough of you two fighting each other, messing a little bit about, and like an angry parent, he comes in, he takes out Ripgoat immediately, and that gives Heatseeker the space and the agency to do a little bit more in this fight. He gets Crusher 99, also another kill onto the support, other support even of Cardiff, and this is the chance for Warwick to keep pushing through. They're not going to be able to finish this point though, I don't think. It's going to be one final, immensely important fight. Ultimate galore in this fight too. Warwick,
yeah, you're gonna need Heatseeker to, or Heatseeker to hit it and clean pulse. He goes for it. He gets the pulse. That's what they need.
It's the perfect kill to start off the fight from Heatseeker. He gets exactly what he needs to get. Guardian Angel, he wants to find his way back into this fight. He's gonna dash through. He's gonna find Rebel as well. This could be all she wrote for Warwick right now. Primal Rage coming out from Panda 64. He finds the kill onto the Tracer. He needs to find more though if he wants to give his team a chance in hell on winning this fight. The support on the side of Cardiff, they're coming back into the fight at the same time. 5 seconds left. We're going to need a touch on the side of Warwick as well. Panda 64 is only on half HP. He's going to have to be the 1-2 touch, and he does get it. He's got the healing bubble at the same time, trying to keep himself alive as much as possible. Rebel goes to the back line. He does manage to get the kill onto the support there. If they can kill both supports, if they can, Rebel goes crazy on this Genji. He's got the clutch factor, the clutch potential when they needed another kill here for Rebel on this Genji. He gets the kills he needs. He keeps his team in the fight. And they survive what looked like an unwinnable fight. Rebel going absolutely wild.
Yeah, but you know, if you're on the side of Warwick, it's not over yet. Sticky needs a pause, I think. Maybe. Did you just lag off the map?
we said that Blizzard World's environmental gained another kill earlier today, earned another soul. And it seems that StayKK wanted to balance that. Both teams now, having lost one to the map, I think that's only fair. And it's going to be an engage from both teams. Rebel, he's going to go in with the blade. He's going to look for as much as possible. Heatseeker, he gets another beautiful stick. That's an important stick there onto the tank at the same time. Crusher, going to fall at the same time. This is really, really good here for Warwick. They're going to keep pushing. They need to get a few more on point here. Maybe not distracted by the Tracer as much. Heatseeker, he wants to take this 1v1 though. He's forced out the recall. He's going to look for the kill here. He's so low and he gets the kill. Beautiful damage. I suppose when you can track like Heatseeker can, it doesn't matter what hero you're on. He's just going to spray and let the damage do the talking for him.
You've got this blade here on the side. If they get a clean blade fight here, it's going to be really hard. Warwick needs to be able to kite this ult very effectively to the build there, primal build there. It's not really what you want. That's not
the start you want. The blade comes in. It might be a little bit of a preemptive blade if this is going to be not final fight. But this is 10 seconds. Can anyone touch the point?
You got the you need the Tracer to touch. You got the primal coming up here. You got the Sombra switch. 2 more seconds, 1 more second. It doesn't.
They don't
look
get
like
the touch, and they can't. It's hook, line, and sinker for Cardiff. They fish the Warwick Anglers out. They take them in a swift 4-0 there. And Cardiff, they are now your Division 2 NSE champions for Spring 2025. They're having a laugh along the way as well, of course. I mean, we've seen some beautiful plays from this whole team. Kirai and the squad. They've done brilliantly in this finals, and they deserve this victory wholeheartedly.
Kirai's got to get the MVP, right?
I think I agree.
Oh,
I mean,
maybe we do
unbelievable.
two MVPs, Kirai and the Ana player. I don't know which one of them it is, but you know, like those two, the synergy between them, got lots, won lots of, lost fights or made lots of clutch plays. Got a lot of opening picks, good ult trades. So I think we should give the MVP to both. I'm a support player. We've got to give some love to support players.
Okay.
They rarely ever get any MVPs. So I'm
I'm
giving it
fairly
to
sure you
Kirai
got
and
MVP just a few days ago, so
well,
not sure what you're talking
my
about.
first time in,
But
in 5 years getting MVP. I'm just putting it out there. First time
wow,
in 5 years.
good for
So
you. Good for you.
yeah.
But yes, no, I agree. I think, but together it was just such a deadly combination, right? Every time we saw a Nano online, every time we saw either the Genji Blade or the Pharah online at the same time, they just get the job done. It just was as simple as that. It felt like they were just a stroll in the park at that point, right? It was so simple for them. And I think Warwick did put up a decent fight, but ultimately that's just going to be it. It's just Warwick Angels. They do, or Warwick Angels even. I hope not Warwick Angels falling 0-4. Warwick Anglers falling 0-4. They will be your second place team for Division 2 in spring 2025. Still a very solid performance, but Cardiff, they were above and beyond, I think, in this case. The better team, the more coordinated team, brilliant compositions as well. Uh, Performed extremely well today.
No, yeah, definitely. 100% agree on that. They, every single one of their comps looked like it had purpose, right? They knew what they were doing. They knew to play the Brig Zen on Blizzard World, the Bull. They're playing the Ana Lucio quite well. Only really, it's quite hard to play on a Lucio because it's quite a fragile backline, but they managed to play it quite well. And I think well done to the entire team.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like we might be trying to get Kirai for an interview just to finish out this stream at the moment. Not sure whether he's going to be available or not, so let's see.
Um,
Whilst we wait, what I can say is there was one final stream to look forward to this week, and that will be on Sunday, 4 p.m. It will be the Warwick Angels versus some small backwater team from a lowly place in the Scottish Highlands. Don't even remember the name of it, but watch out for that
Red
match.
Scotland's not even a country. Why is Scotland?
Scotland is a country in its own right, I think. I mean, we'll give them that at the very least, right? We'll give them that. But yep, stick around for that match. That will be Sunday, 4 p.m. It will be on the actual NSC channel. It will be live finals as well. So if you wanted to make the trip to Manchester, if you're around, you can come along. You can come support us, or realistically, does anyone support us? No, not really. So you can come and support the enemy team at the same time, and come say hi as well. It'd be nice to see as many of you as possible. Looks like no
I've also been
interview.
told
So
that Matt and Spectrum will be having little bar fights, to see who the better, better player is, or a
right,
bit of arm
right.
wrestle. Sorry, we can do a little arm wrestle. I think between Matt and Spectrum.
I'd do an arm
Some going
wrestle.
on.
I'd do an arm
Yeah.
wrestle. I'd like to see that. Although maybe I might break his arm on purpose so he can't play. Oh no, what a
Oh,
devastation.
yeah. And Matt, you don't need your arm, right? Because you can just play,
I just need these
one-handed.
bad boys. I need these bad
Yeah.
boys. That's it.
Yeah. All you need is your thumbs.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So thank you all for watching this finals. Again, 4-0 to Yahvin or Cardiff University. Brilliantly played from them. Well done indeed. Thank you for watching, and we will see you hopefully on Sunday for the live finals. See you then.